This video is brought to you in proud partnership between the following. Okay, well, I'm going to start this video the same way I did with Kendra. Stefan, Alicia, bidding, video number, I'm writing them down so I don't forget, 3. We're going to be discussing a couple of the spreadsheets that will populate when you click on some of the links on the left-hand side, like lines and trips. And Alicia, why don't you tell me what you know about this first?
So let's start with the overview file. I would assume that's probably what most pilots start with.
Yeah, that's what I start with. It doesn't mean that everybody does.
Right.
Yeah.
The overview is a very simple document that just shows all of the lines, what the crew complement is, the credit, and then the work days.
Yep.
So a few things here is all of the hard lines of flying are going to start with the letter F.
Okay.
It's just the way that the system labels them. And when we go to actual bidding, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the hard lines are F. Then if you scroll, the training lines or CQ lines are going to start with Q.
Oh, that's why it starts with a Q. CQ.
Yes, CQ.
Okay, makes sense. Yep.
And then the reserve lines are going to start with the letter R. So I do try to color code the CQ lines for 2 reasons. One, I like color.
Okay. All right, sure.
But 2, it usually breaks up the monotony of the file, and so you're not just looking at black and white for so many things.
And it helps you definitely know, don't bid these unless you're on the training.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. Yep, okay.
And I don't know if anyone's caught on, but my colors usually match the bid list to the overview
they're color-coded,
They are
of course.
color-coded.
All right, that's so girly.
It is. I love it.
All right.
So the overview will show, like I said, the crew complement. So if you're a captain, you're going to know that's a 1 captain line. We do have 2 captain lines in bidding. And then if you're an FO, you would know this is a 2 FO line.
Makes sense. Yep.
So you know what your complement is. The credit, which is probably very important, which is what you're going to get paid.
Right. How's that expressed? I see like a plus sign there in the middle.
So again, this is what the file just comes out as. It's 83 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So it's hours plus minutes.
That's much how we write down our flight time and our block time in the log can. So,
yes.
Okay. All right.
And then the numbers here under the calendar, so it's a calendar across. And then the numbers are going to correlate to the trip numbers. And we'll talk about that.
Difference between lines and trips.
Lines and trips, yep. And then the X's are the work days.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you to caution, this is an overview, and we did have this report specially built for Kalitta pilots.
Okay.
This is not a report that our vendor normally does, so there are some glitches with the report. So I always stress to the pilot group, make sure that you are checking the lines and the trip actual
just to make
files,
sure. All right.
just to make sure.
All right.
The other part of this file of note is making sure that the next month that you will notice that it might carry into the following month.
Right. And there's a whole set of rules on carrying days and credit and all that, but we're not even going to get into that.
No. But just so you know, and sometimes we try to remember to maybe gray this so you can again see.
Yeah, that's right. It's missing. Yeah.
Between
sometimes it is gray. This one not.
Yes.
Okay.
So, all right. The next thing that you would go to would be your lines. Okay. So, again, make sure you're looking at the correct fleet. We're going to go ahead and look at the 747. And this is in line order, so it'll always start with the first line, F1. This 1, 2 right here is the complement, the crew complement.
Captains versus FOs.
1 captain, 2 FOs. You have your block time. This is the block time for the calendar, for the bid month. And then your duty time, so total duty and credit. And then you have the number of work days and the number of days off.
All right.
It's calendar view, basically. Very high level. So you'll see the off. Now, this is a great example of that overview page. If we look at line 1 on the overview, you'll see that it starts on the 2nd. It actually worked this time, so they might have fixed it. So,
but either way, use caution.
Yes,
beware.
use caution. So this is a great example of the trip that we'll talk about next. You see that this doesn't start until the 3rd, but the 2nd is not off. It's this blue color, or light, I call that light blue. This is an actual duty day because the trip shows at 23:30Z, which we know the CBA says that you can't show prior to 5Z.
Right.
So that's why the 2nd becomes a duty day.
Okay, all right.
Also, at the end of this line, if you see that it ends at midnight Z, so the 17th is a work day.
Yeah, okay. Yep, I see that. And the rest of them are off.
Yes,
Okay.
off, and then it shows you, again, all of the stations that you're going to lay over in. So the lines page only shows the layover. It doesn't show the actual trip details.
Right, and the green dashes are a pretty good representation of the actual flight time.
Correct.
Right, okay.
So here we have a representation of a line that has carry-in days. So the program does a really good job of showing you with the dashes on the days that it's the next month, which I think is good.
Okay.
And then, so any of the work days that carry into the next day are then just showed by this light blue.
Okay.
Good thing to note is that your credit of 61 hours and 59 minutes is only for the bid month.
Okay.
It's not for the flight time that is in the carry-in days. So some people do get confused on that. The block time is the same way. So it's only for that bid month. So for July, it'd be anything from July 1st to July 31st.
Okay. Yep.
Okay? We also have an example of a CQ line. So again, it's going to be your line number, what the crew complement is. There's no block time because there's nothing yet. Your credit's going to be 64, and then again, your duty days and your days off. The CQ times are all in Zulu, so please make sure you pay attention to that when you are bidding your CQ days.
Yep.
So the GTR is ground school. We always start with ground school, and then you're going to see your simulator times, and then your reserve days.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So then lastly, we have a reserve line.
Okay.
So reserve line is basically just going to be reserve days and off days. There'll be no trips, nothing, just reserve days and off days. However, as most of you know, if you bid a reserve line, you will be flying.
Yeah, it's right. You'll definitely credit over, well, I mean, I won't say that 100%, but you will most likely credit over your min guarantee.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Okay, well, all right, we made it to the end of the lines file here. You know what? We were going to do both the lines and the trips in one video, but there was so much detail. I think we're going to hop into the next video to do trips.
Awesome.
All right, let's do it.